Hey guys, I'm gonna give it a minute for people to pop on. Get this set up. Okay. Hey Charles. Hey Attitude. Oh, just keeps going, guys. Just keeps going. Hey Ralph. Hey Big A. Oh, you guys. I guess you know what? I need to take a course in criminal thinking. Because some of the shit that happens, I can't even fathom. So this is the latest thing. So I posted in the women's crime drivers group about my incident so that they would be aware and not taken advantage of, right? And one of the girls comments and says, if they followed you to the ATM, how do you know there wasn't a skimmer on that ATM? I don't know that. So by the time I saw her comment, and I just stopped in West Virginia, I got parked up, and I went out to the Bank of America app, and for whatever reason it wouldn't allow me to freeze my business account. I used my business account debit card at the ATM. And so I couldn't, hey Carrie, hey Twisted, so I couldn't freeze that account because I came in through a different login. I just happened to go over then and check my account. They frickin' used my account in Knoxville, Tennessee. I went from Ohio to West Virginia, and they already used my debit card in Tennessee. So I got on the phone with Bank of America right away, and yeah, skimmer on the ATM. Yep. So they got my initial money, then they got my ring, then they got my earrings, and then they fucking got me again from a skimmer. I can't even keep up with the criminal minds. I can't. I don't understand it. And here's the thing. You know, we're on the road, right? It is so difficult for us to get home and you know, she's like, well, I have to close your account now. We know there's fraudulent activity. Do you know how many bills I have that are automatically paid from that? Websites and ads and accountant and cell phone bill. Like, I have shit that's going to hit tomorrow that's all going to bounce and be rejected because they had to close it. No, she's like, well, we can reissue you one and we can mail it out. Well, that's great. So I'm really not trying to be negative, but I don't know. I don't know. It just, you guys, just be on the lookout. I mean, this was a group of white guys that could have been the 70-year-old guy that came up to my door, could have been my grandpa, could have been my dad. The other gentlemen, I say gentlemen, whatever, criminals, could have been my brothers. They were my age, all white guys. Never once did I feel threatened or, I mean, it was like this jolly good time. The guy won this money, he was giving it away, I saw him doling it out. And then you guys all heard what happened. Sure, here's my ring. But yeah, I am gonna let the police know. I was the air kicked on, so I couldn't find the card, but it fell underneath my seat. But yeah, there's the guy's card. I'm gonna send him an email. I also had to send him a picture of my ring. And also, someone else told me that if my diamonds are GIA certified, and they are, I can call my jeweler and they can put out a national alert Oh, come on, they're criminals. I doubt that they're even go to a pawn shop. Doesn't every criminal in the book know not to go to a pawn shop with stolen items? You know? Yeah, you're right, Highlander, but I said that because a lot of people assume that that it was not white guys that did it. They assumed that it was, I don't know. They didn't assume it was white guys. That's all I'm saying. So I wanted to clear it up that, yeah, it was white guys that got me. It was the 70-year-old that got me out of my truck during the day. And then, if you're just hopping on, they had a skimmer at the ATM that I used, and they just used my account in Tennessee. And I went from Ohio to West Virginia. They used it at a Flying J, or a Pilot, one of the two. My phone's being used. I know. See, that's the problem. I wouldn't call them men either. I'm just so used to, like, using respectful terms, except for when I'm really angry. You guys don't like to use the F word, but sometimes that just fits. But, you're right, Hans. It shouldn't have anything to do with it, but because apparently I didn't mention it at first, other people made an assumption, and I didn't want that to be out there. Yeah, Trucker John, I saw your comments, and you know, there's so many things. Like when I look back, right? Like I was cleaning off my dash, so I had disconnected my dash cam, and my dash cam does not work unless it's charging constantly. The battery's bad or whatever. So that would have been captured the whole time. Everybody's like, why didn't you use Jake? Where was Jake? Jake was sleeping in here. And they're like, use your dog for protection. Put him on a leash and have him get out with you. Oh, you guys, so many things. But when he told me the guy won at the casino was giving money away, I had my eye on the hoist. I thought I was going to surprise Chris. And all these other things happened right in front of my eyes, and I did not see it playing out for what it was. Didn't see it coming. But I bet I look like a big fool as I'm walking around the truck stop after they've all left and gone, and I'm crying and going, where are they? How come they're not back? But yeah, for them to do that, and then to even use a skimmer on the ATM that I used, and use my account again. It's just, I don't know. And here's the thing. I can't change who I am. I can't change the fact that I believe in good people. I can't change the fact that I'm still going to help people, that I'm still going to be giving. Because if I do that, then I'm not my authentic self. I just have to be smarter about it. Yeah, it is a terrible feeling of being ripped off. And I mean, because of what they took was so sentimental to me, it feels like they came into my bedroom and went through my, hate to say it, underwear drawer and took my stuff. That's how violated I feel. That they got me to take my ring off voluntarily and then walked away with it. That I feel so violated. Oh, but I can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Meaning, this happened to me. I gotta learn from it, but I can't stop. Trusting people. I just have to be smarter about it. If I stopped trusting people and stopped being nice to people and stopped, then none of you would be in my life. That would stop, right? Because how you either do it for everybody or you know what I'm saying? And then when I got to this truck stop tonight, I had pre-purchased a reserved spot because I knew I was going to get in here late. And it was a blind side back. It's the dumbest, smallest spot, whatever. And this guy gets out of his truck and helps me back in. And I told him, like, thank you so much, because I've had a shitty day, and I really appreciate your generosity and getting out of your truck late at night and helping me. Like, there are still good people out there. If you're watching, Matt Little Feather, thank you. And if you guys know Little Feather, he's a flatbedder. But I just have to be vigilant. I have to remember this, and I want you guys to remember this. I tell you what, the guy that said he tried to stop me, like get my attention, because he's seen it before, I would have tried much harder. I mean, I can't blame him, but now if I'm sitting in my truck and I see this sort of activity happening, I'm going to blow my freaking air horn. I'm going to get the person, the girl, the male to stop in their tracks, and I'm going to be like, it's a scam, run. I will get their attention. I will be videoing it, going Facebook, YouTube Live. I will get those people. May not be the same people, maybe a different group of people, but I will be watching. MD, how did I lose my ring? I got scammed. Yeah, I did a live earlier. Yeah, Big Dave, they when I used my business ATM card, there had to be a skimmer, because they just used my card in Tennessee. I don't know how that works. When I called Bank of America to freeze my account, well, she closed it now, or closed the card. I said, how does that even work? Do they get the number and then make another card? And she goes, well, I don't really know how it works. Well, I don't either. So Jim, so what happened is an older guy, about his 70s, came up during the day at the New Paris, Ohio Petro, and said, hey, did you see what just happened there? Did you see what happened with that driver? And I'm, busy doing other things. I'm like, no. He goes, you need to come see. I'm trying to get as many drivers as I can to come see this. So I get out, and they're all standing, outside of a Prime trailer. So I assumed the guy was another Prime driver. And I said, what, was there an accident? What happened? The guy's like, you just got to come check it out. Excuse me. And as we approach, I said, oh, I'm gonna videotape this. And he goes, no. You don't want to videotape it. So I thought, well, maybe is there a crash? Maybe I don't want to embarrass the driver. I don't know. And as we start to get closer, he's like, no, the guy won all this money at the casino and just wants to give it away. And I went, really? What? And he's like, yeah. So I see it. I see this playing out. I walk up, and there's other guys there, and they point out the red car, and the guy's like, here you go, here's $200. The guy's like, yeah, and I see it happening, right? And then the guy's like, okay, little lady, which one do you have? And I pointed it, and he's like, you just won 2. And he goes, but I don't give money to a broke person, so you got to show me that you got money. I'm like, I don't even have my wallet on me. And he's like, well, go get it. Show me that you got money. I'm not going to give money to a broke person. So as I'm walking back to my truck, the 7-year-old is the 70. Make sure you understand me. The 70-year-old is following me. He's accompanying me to my truck, right? And he's like, isn't this awesome that he's just giving money away? I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for coming to give me. I feel so blessed. I'm having this conversation with this 70-year-old man who's about to take advantage of me, and I don't even know it. So I get in my truck, and I'm like, oh my God. Because I wasn't going to break out the other money, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to talk about it. But anyway, and I said, well, I only have $40 in my wallet. And he's like, well, if you have an ATM card, go use your ATM. Like, if you have $800 in there that you can take out, he'll give you $1,600. He'll double whatever you have. So I go running into the ATM, and before I know it, the guy is right behind me again. He's like, wow, I can't keep up with you. You're fast. He's like, I'm 70. And there's a limit on the ATM, right? So I do it twice. I use my card twice in there. And we get back, and they're still doing this, right? The guy's still doling out the money. He's like, okay, so, and one of the guys says, well, pay her, she won. And he goes, okay, let me see what you got for your money. Where's my wallet? And I go, and literally I open it like this, right? And I go, see? And he does this. He goes, and takes out all the money I just took from the ATM. He's like, let me see, these are all 20s. I'm pretty good at weighing things out. And then he just continues to talk, right? He's like, okay, well, you could win the big jackpot here. Still has my money in his hand. And he goes, what else you got? And the guy's like, well, what about your ring? I'm like, what about it? And he goes, well, is that real? And I said, of course it's real. And he goes, well, let me see it. I got to feel how heavy it is with the gold. I freaking took it off. And then they're still winning and talking and all of this stuff, right? And then he goes, well, what about your earrings? And I'm like, well, of course they're real. Well, let me see them. Take them off. Here's me. You know, and he's like, fellas, she's going to take the jackpot, $3 to $6 grand today. We're going to call it a day, guys. We're going to call it a day. And then he looks down and he's like, somebody bet my card. What? He goes, I got to go back to the truck and get your money. I'll be right back. Blah, blah, blah. And so he turns around and goes to the front of the prime truck, and these other guys are like surrounding me sort of and pushing, you know, like guiding me as I'm walking to the end of the trailer, like the other way. And I go, wait a minute, where'd he go? He's got my stuff. And he goes, oh, he'll be right back. He went to get your money. And I'm like, no, but he's got my stuff. Like, where'd he go? He's got my stuff. And they're all like rushing away. And the guy's like, I'm going to go to the ATM and get you your $1,000 to get your stuff back. I'm like, what are you talking about, get my stuff back? I didn't lose my stuff. I didn't have to bet anything. What are you talking about? I go, where'd the guy go? He goes, oh, he's in some Atlas truck at the other side of the parking lot. So I turn around from those guys, and I start heading towards the other way, looking for this guy. And I turn around, and they're all gone. All gone. My ring, my earring, all gone. That's how that happened. I gave them the stuff, thinking. And then somebody in a Facebook group said, you want to be careful, there might be a skimmer on an ATM. Sure shit. Yep, when I finally saw the comment, finally stopped, checked my account, they used my account in Tennessee. Tonight, at a truck stop. You gotta be careful, you guys. Like, yeah, I'm being honest with you guys. I'm telling you guys how much I screwed up. I'm telling you how naive I was, how gullible I was. But it's only so that it doesn't happen to you or someone you love. Please share this with your family members. I don't care. People are just out of control. They're just out of control. And I don't think that way. I always say, if the criminals would put all that effort into like legit things, they'd be millionaires. They'd be millionaires. Like if drug dealers actually legitimately sold pharmaceuticals with doctors and they'd be millionaires. So I just don't understand this, the criminal mindset. So when I used the ATM and the 70-year-old was right next to me, I didn't think, and after all that went down, I didn't even think about a skimmer. Like, they just screwed up my financial world. Like, I have so many things automated that are gonna hit Monday. I'm gonna, oh my God. I have so many phone calls to make tomorrow to tell everybody the story. And I just, so which truck stop? It was the Petro in New Paris, Ohio, off of 40. And, my understanding, like, several people have commented that they were taken there before for similar scams. It obviously has a reputation for this type of activity, which I was unaware of. And it's right next to the border. So once you hop over, but the deputy said because of the value of what was taken from me, it is a felony. So he's like, if you run across them, oh my gosh, little Viking coach, that's some scary, scary thought. You know, I keep having this conversation in my head that says everything happens for a reason, right? And maybe the reason I so willingly gave my ring and other stuff, I didn't know I was staying alive. I didn't know I was staying. What about if I had resisted? What would have happened? I don't know. Like, it's a very real thing that women, no matter their age, get taken for sex trafficking. No matter what they look like, no matter what they make, no matter their education. You're right, little Viking coach. Sex I mean, I don't want to think about it, but it's a very real thing. That is a consequence that could have happened. Terrible things could have happened. And I walked away from it. Emotionally disturbed. I feel violated, like, not physically violated, but just, they took stuff from me. And that was my business account, you guys, which makes me really worried. I got my business account. So, I mean, I don't have any tips to give. I just have my story to share because like, in some parts of my life, I am so smart. Keep getting a dry throat. Not COVID. So smart, so savvy, so diligent, so brazen, so stubborn, but when it comes to, like, helping people, like, I thought I was going to be able to get this for Chris. My heart just, like, opens up. It's like puppies running out, and I didn't see any of this unfolding in front of me because I thought I was going to surprise Chris with the hoist, because I thought that this guy was really just giving away his earning or his winnings from the casino, because I would do the same thing. Legitimately. I gotta see what you guys are saying, because I've just been rambling. Oh my gosh, who did that? Paul Williamson. Oh, thank you for the super chat. New Jersey Michael, he did that earlier. That's, you know, my son says to me, Mom, well, and a couple other people have commented, Nene, we want to send you money. How do we do that? You know, some other people said GoFundMe, and because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to have you guys pay for a new ring. I told Chris I was going to pay for my own ring, and I'm just going. So Snorlord says there's a similar scam ring in Oklahoma City. I hear about it. It happened in Denver. It's got to be happening everywhere, and it just sucks. And Hans, you know, is talking to Dee, and he says that's why I don't trust anyone. I don't want to be that way. Yeah, Johnny, you're right. I'm probably going to have to change all of my account numbers and passwords. You're absolutely right. You know, Dee, when you say scammers love truck stops, we're so gullible, that's so true. I remember, it's got to be a year and a half ago now. I was on Home Time, and Prime reached out to me because there was fraudulent activity on my Com data card. And I don't know what it's like for other companies, but with Prime, from your weekly settlement, you can choose to put money on that card and that you can have access to through purchases and ATMs. I didn't know, because I just never used the card for ATM, so I didn't know that there was somebody in Pennsylvania that got a hold of my number and was just regularly using my card, and they said they're smart because they keep it just under 20 or 30 bucks so you wouldn't notice it. And it, it's not like a big one-time take out your money. They just do it every so often. 20 to 30 bucks here, 20 to 30 bucks there. 500 bucks later. Yep. Wasn't even aware it was happening until Prime said, we realized that you're on home time in Minnesota and your card was just used in Pennsylvania. Now the ComData is also my fuel card, so that's what really caught their attention. It's all around us. And because we travel so much, that I think it's hard for us to detect things right away, because we're like, well, let's see. I went through 4 states yesterday. Where was I? And I don't know if the right way is to go all cash or if it's to go prepaid card. I don't know. How do you guys manage? Like, nobody wants to touch cash right now. Everybody wants you to use a card. What do you guys do? What are your tips? So, somebody just asked, where was it? Somebody just asked, how much did they get off my card? They used it at a truck stop, just under 20 bucks. Right? But if I had not caught that, they would be on to the next place and they would just under 20. It's a small enough number for me not to even realize it. But because somebody mentioned it in a Facebook group that I should check it out, that's the only reason I caught it. The part that scares me though, I don't know what other information they could have received on my business, because that's a business debit card. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. Yeah, like, get this warning out. Seriously, like, I was so unsuspecting, you guys, so unsuspecting, and it was an old man. I'm not kidding you, an old man that looked like he could have been my grandpa. In a really good mood. It's a Sunday afternoon. I never suspected it. So Groot says I pull out 100 a week and hide my debit card. I used to use those, you buy the little cases that are, so they can't skim your cards. I forget what they're called, but they're like the RF protection. I used to use those when I first came out here, and then I got lazy and thought, well, I don't need to use them. But you're right, maybe, you're right, NC Styles, I did. I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and... I think that's the term. I think that's the quote. But the reason I'm sharing it is so that other people don't fall for it. Yeah, I look like an idiot. I look like a dumb blonde. Yes. Throw all of those out there at me. I own it. It is what it is. But don't let it happen to you. If it happens to you, I'm not going to call you those terms. I'm just going to be like, why didn't you learn from my video? Like I said earlier, you guys, it's not even the cash that bothers me. It's not even the money that bothers me. I mean, it sucks, because now my accounts are frozen. And well, anyway. Just don't let this happen to you. Like, share this out. You know, send this to your mom and say, look at this just happened to this grandma. I am a grandma. I'm 50. And I fell for it. And I think I would have fallen for it if it would have been a 10-year-old kid that would have came up to me and said something. It was broad daylight. If it had been nighttime, my spidey senses, middle of the day, never even suspected a thing. Plus, I'm telling you what, they did it next to a Prime trailer, and I thought it was a Prime driver that just won the money. Coincidence? They came to me in a Prime truck and parked themselves right outside of a Prime trailer. No, I think they know Prime drivers trust Prime drivers. That was a setup, and I fell for it. I fell for it. NC Styles, I didn't go to an ATM to give them money. I went to an ATM to show them money. Big Papi, the guy that was 70, slim build, decent, like, light denim, like, not a t-shirt, but like, you know, a button-up shirt, short sleeve, jeans on, some sort of American hat, like a flag, or red, white, and blue, something Americana, American, something. The guy that was holding the the wad of money, 6'3", 340, a big guy. Gray t-shirt, shorts, look like a trucker. The other guy, pretty, I mean, I didn't really get a good look at him. Baseball cap, like salt and pepper mustache, thin build. And there was another guy, I couldn't even tell you what he looked like. I didn't even see his face. I don't remember anything about him other than he was next to me and he kept bending down a lot. So I don't know if he did that so I wouldn't get a look at his face. I don't know. But they were all 4 white guys. Could, like I said, the 70-year-old could have been my grandpa or my dad, and the other ones could have been my brother. Katie says, get yourself a Walmart Visa and transfer what you need. That way, if the card is compromised, it's minimal. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Oh, Groot, I've never heard of that. Online loan and then a work virus in their bank account makes small withdrawals. Yeah. NC Styles, I don't know if I'm too nice or I don't know what it is. Right into some of the trucking sites. They might pick up the story. What do you mean by trucking sites? Like Overdrive or... See, now, Liam, normally I'm on top of Bank of America because they shut down they decline my card frequently because of potential fraudulent use. But it's me trying to, like, book a cruise so the charge comes out in Florida and I'm in California using my card, but then I pay for something at home. So they're like, wait a minute. And those are, like, legit... all legit charges, but because they see things differently, they decline them and go, call into the fraudulent card number, and then if they were declined, tell the people to retry it. And sometimes that happens, like, when I'm at the truck stop trying to use my card, and I'll see the text message that comes across, and I get so frustrated. But it didn't happen this time. It didn't happen. They didn't send me a fraud alert. Raul, I actually have, not under business credit, but on my personal credit, because I was a victim of identity theft several years ago. Um, I do have a flag on my credit report, so they have to call me and verify who I am. So, like when I went to Verizon, I had to give them I had to, what did I have to do? I had to upload like a copy of my mortgage, a utility bill. Like I had to go through a number of obstacles, if you will, and I was on the road, so I'm like, I don't have a copy of my mortgage here. I don't have a copy of my vehicle registration for my like. So I do have that on my account. I'm trying to build business credit right now, so I cannot have them jeopardize that. So I don't know who to call for that. I'll have to figure that out. The guy being white and older, let your guard down. It was his approach. It was how friendly he was. Yeah. And to tell you the truth, if it would have been any 70-year-old dressed like that, acting like that, during the day, I would have acted the same way. I would have said, okay, let me see what's going on. I would have gotten out again. Hate to say it, but I would have. Johnny, I think they had the actual skimmer, which is the device that you put on the ATM. So when you slide your card through to the actual ATM, it actually picks up what your card is. Thank you, Slim. Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody says. At least I'm okay. You guys, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And I think we all know that, and I know that, and that's why I know how lucky I am. But I still feel violated. And I'll feel that way for a while. But I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to be smarter, you know. I don't know, just when you think you got it figured out, right? Life bites you in the ass and you're like, all right, let's chalk this one up to, I don't know, ignorance, being naive, gullible. All of those words probably fit my situation. Hey, Recap. It is hard to think that somebody would be that evil, especially, I keep thinking back, like, that he could have been my grandpa. And as I'm driving down the road, like, after this all happened, I'm thinking to myself, does he regret what he did to me? Like, I could be his granddaughter. Does he regret being involved in this ring of criminal activity? Like, they know damn well they just took my wedding ring. Does he feel bad at all? Like, or are people so psycho, or they're sociopaths, they don't think about the victim? Like, I just don't understand the evil. I just don't understand it. Charles, you're surprised they didn't say anything to me when, like, the bank? Like, I've taken out legitimate large sums of money before. So that is not, like, suspect. And see, what do you mean you received a lot of fraudulent notifications? Oh, does that mean, like, from your bank, like, because you're all over the place in several different states? Big Poppy, there, I didn't see a female. Nope. Yeah, Johnny, that sucks when people take your ID and all of that. Oh, you know, I think about, like, here's the thing. I think about what would happen if Jake would have been out there with me, right? And we've seen this before, where truckers go to protect themselves and then they're charged with a crime for protection, right? So I think, because Jake's got a pretty good spidey sense, like, he picks up on people. I'm not saying all the time. There's some people that he's sketchy about that I'm like, come on, Jake, get over it. But I wonder how he would have reacted. And if I would have even had him out there with me, because I don't know how Jake is going to react, because sometimes he's just temperamental, I would have just naturally, as a dog owner, kept my distance, because I don't know how he's going to react. But he may very well have alerted me further, like, he doesn't like what's happening here. But I didn't even take him out of the truck. That's the thing. I didn't even use Jake for what he's supposed to be used for, and that's for my protection. There's so many lessons here. There's so many. Ridge Runner, where was this? You got robbed by gunpoint? Where? I am so sorry that happened. Mario? Okay. 20 years ago, I fell for the, you won an online casino game, go cash this check at your bank. Fell for that. Got burned. I mean, it was like a $3,000 check, but I fell for that. That was before anybody really knew about those scams. That was very early 90s. Yeah, I am going to let the truck stop now. It is sad, Mike. It is really sad. Capizon 2, I think that's how you say that. You're right, blonde moment. I own it. Yeah, I own it. Slim, I really think it's going to get worse, and that's the sad thing. That is the sad thing. It's going to get worse. Tina says, please ask other truck drivers around where you were if you're still there. Well, I had already left, but when the deputy showed up, we went to several trucks. The prime truck that it happened outside of, the deputy knocked on his door. I felt so bad. I mean, you could tell the guy came from the back and he was asleep, and the deputy says, do you recognize him? And I said, no, he wasn't, no. And I wasn't saying the prime driver was involved in the activity. I just assumed, because it was happening right outside of his truck trailer. And the guy said, yeah, I heard stuff going on, but, you know, like you're any other trucker, you don't get up every time you hear a conversation outside your truck. You'd be up all the time. And then he went to another truck, talked to the driver, because I said, I remember seeing him in there, like in his cab. And the guy's like, yeah, I saw it all happen, but I didn't think anything of it. And the deputy said, can I look in your bunk? And he went in and looked to make sure he was by himself. And so we did that. And then the couple that was in the truck next to the prime trailer, so like on the other side, said they saw when it was all done and over with, they said they hightailed it through the Petro and probably went through the store to the other side to get to the car area and took off that way. They said, but that they took off fast. So everybody saw it happening. Nobody said anything. Good night, Johnny. Okay, trucker, little Debbie Nixon, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get through comments, trying to understand people doing you wrong, but I've been there and happened to me, wanted to help, but you do not respond to any of my comments. Okay, I'm sorry, Debbie, but I didn't see the comments, so I'm sorry. Ridge Runner said it happened to him in Dallas, Texas. What truck stop? Hey, Rodney. You know, I don't know if you guys were watching me or remember this, but when we came back from our cruise, or maybe I was on the cruise and I did a video, I said that we got robbed. But I never, and then the whole COVID thing hit, so I never felt like the timing was right to come back and talk to that. But literally, we are in Canada, flying to the Dominican Republic to pick up the ship, remember, because our flight got canceled, so the ship left and we had to get a flight to the Dominican to pick it up at the first port. The night that we left, Chris got some photos from his son, and Chris was like, what the heck is going on? This airbag blowout? What happened was, remember we had the washout business? Well, somebody broke into that van, took all the equipment, busted the ignition out, tried to take the van as well. And then that was parked at Chris's shop, and then they broke into the shop and took tools, took his plasma cutter, I think that's what it's called, plasma cutter, his welding stuff, like just ransacked his shop the night that we left for our cruise. So we got robbed there in Minneapolis. It's just, I just don't get it. Mike did not check for dash cam videos from other trucks. I mean, in all honesty, where I was parked, it was pretty vacant. There was a truck 5 spots away from me, facing the other way. Like, I was faced this way, his truck was faced this way, and he was polishing his chrome. But there wasn't a lot of, there was a prime truck up there and like a flatbedder that was facing me. But there wasn't like a lot of trucks around, if that makes sense. There was a lot of empty spaces. It was middle of the day at a large Petro. And, yeah. Usher, that's so cool, your pilot license. Josh? Katie, they saw a trucker, they saw a female, they saw easy target. Yep. The sad thing about Petro is that when the deputy went in to ask them to review the video, they said that only the manager has access. Even the assistant manager does not have access. But you know what? Do you guys remember when Petro TA came looking for me? They called Prime because I left a message on one of their videos. I still have that vice president's cell phone number. I'm going to alert him that that is a ridiculous policy that assistant managers do not have access. Because if there's any sort of like 24 hours later, it just loops it and records over it, by Monday, that's been recorded over, right? Yeah, next time, yeah, I know, Tina, right? Like, evil comes in all sizes. It could be an older lady or a pregnant woman. And that's the hard part, like, saying like, no, thank you, or no, I don't want to be involved, or that's just, so if you guys legitimately see me at a truck stop and I'm a little, whatever, it's because of this. It's because of this. NC Styles, I don't know who I upset because I have been meditating for the last week. I have been listening to Abraham Hicks, which I absolutely love, and I have been falling asleep to like deep meditation music, and affirmation music, waking up with positive energy. Like, it's just been flowing nonstop, like good stuff. No, I never got a bad gut feeling. It wasn't until the guy walked away with my stuff that I went, wait, what just happened? Like, there was nothing. It was all like this party event. Like, the guy was just giving out hundreds. I didn't know that they were all together. They were all in on it. I had no idea. They were so good. But then again, I was so easy. So were they really that good, or was I really that dumb? Maybe a little of both. Chris says that they weren't that good because if the old guy followed me into the ATM, then they likely have it on video. If the only thing he suspects is if there's people saying that people at Petro were in on it, and if it really does loop and re-record after 24 hours, then it's like it never even happened, because it'll be re-recorded over by Monday. So that's the part that stinks. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't call the manager in. I need to invest in on broad cameras. So I bought a 360 camera, you guys, and this thing is sweet, right? It's a hood mounted, and it's up in the bunk right now because when I bought it, this is another thing, right? Learned from my error, whatever. It had an OBD port, and you can't put that in the 9-pin. So I need the adapter, but I'm never home. And then everybody's like, yeah, but you can have it shipped to a truck stop. I'm always on the run. Like, I know I'm saying all these excuses. It's just the way it is. All I need is an adapter, and I would have that 360 roaming camera. It would be so sweet. I may be forced to go home and get my new cards, take care of some stuff for stuff that's going to hit the fan with this bank account and other things. So I may be able to pick up an adapter then from like Micro Center or something like that, or have Amazon ship it to me. I don't want to go home before I was planning in July, but I may have to. Yeah, NC Styles, this camera is like awesome. It records the stuff that's happening in the cab, and there's all around me. You're right, Linda. We've all heard the term lifetime criminal. Perhaps we should realize that it could be over decades of experience and thus aging. All of the above, Big Poppy. All of the above. I was scammed, robbed, gave them stuff. All of the above. You're gonna have to listen to the beginning because I've repeated the story a couple times during this, and plus I did a live earlier. So yeah, I was the best. I was the best victim. Didn't even put up a fight. Here, take my ring. You guys, look. You can still see where my ring used to sit. Oh, and I lost a nail. Not a good day. Not a good day. Oh, Crystal. You manage a convenience store. You have scams in all different ways. Just be aware you don't live in the regret mode. I can't live in the regret mode. I mean, I just want to be a voice so that someone else does not fall prey. And I'm not saying, you guys, I'm not saying that it won't happen again to me. I literally can't promise you that, because I don't know what the next situation is. But I want to think that I'm going to be smarter if the pregnant lady comes up to me, the little girl comes up to me, the troubled little boy that's a juvenile. Like, I want to believe that their intention is as good as mine, and it works out for both of us. I really don't want to be, I don't want to go through this again, but I really, I don't think it's going to be the last time for me. I really don't, you guys. I really just don't think it's going to be the last time because of who I am. I just... I gotta take a look at that. What does that say? Can I not look at that? Okay, maybe I can't look at that. So, okay, so I just wanted to come on and tell you guys that while that happened, they also got me off of the skimmer. So, my bank card's been shut down. And it just puts me in a tailspin for tomorrow when all of these things try to go through. So be smart. Learn. Please, please. I don't care if I look like an idiot. Share this out. Let somebody learn from it. I unknowingly, willingly gave them my stuff and lived to tell about it. That's what I have to say. So I got to get a hold of the truck stop about their ATM machine. I got to get a hold of the deputy, letting him know. I still don't know how they used my card at that truck stop in Tennessee. I still don't know how they did it. I'm gonna have to do a little research on criminals. So you guys, I'm extremely tired. I'm over it. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta deliver tomorrow morning. So thank you for all your support. There's a couple deleted messages. I don't know what they're about. I don't know if that's really you, Debbie Nixon. I don't know if you're on a rampage. I don't know, but your stuff's deleted. So thank you, Katie. I will win in the end. Thank you, Recap. I appreciate everybody. Charles. Yes, Don, right? I was on such a high that I replaced my clearance light. I even told that to the deputy. I just replaced my clearance light so nobody would give me a ticket, and then this happened. So, but you know what? I'm not giving up. Bigger things are happening in my world, and I just can't talk about it yet. But I believe I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on. I think that everything happens for a reason, and there you go. So, like I say, be safe, be smart, learn from my error, and I'm out.